got is a different deal going here today. And I ain't real sure how this is going to work out, but what we got is a pretty good sized hole. It's going to be 12 foot deep. And we have to, we got I-beams in here for lagging. They are going to dig down about 6 feet first, and then we're going to let them lag it, and then we got to go down another 6 feet. Now that's the part I'm not quite sure about. I told them it'd probably be best if we could go ahead and just get this one corner done, and then I could go down the final grade finish lagging it. But and I also told them that before this is over, we might end up having to get an excavator in here. I just don't see it happening with the way we've got to do it. I mean, when we first talked about this job, we were going to stair step it on all 4 sides, but I guess with the foundation of the building, they don't want to take a chance on undermining the columns, and you know, kind of makes sense. I understand why they're doing it this way. It doesn't, you know, but it's just the job changed just a little bit, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But this is under this. We're inside a building. We're inside an old factory, and I don't know the story on it. I don't know if somebody new bought it. I don't know. I think that may be what happened, but we're digging these pits for some big equipment that will eventually be in here. So they've got to come in and put in foundation and build walls and that kind of stuff for the pit that the machine will set in. Anyway, kind of an interesting project. Like I said, I don't know how it's going to turn out by the time we're done here, what's going to happen. I think there's 3 separate pits. But we're probably going to combine them. I think the center of it's going to be dug. They're going to dig out between the pits, I think. And at least that's what I'm told. I don't know. I just got here. Sometimes it's nice to be the backhoe guy where you don't have to have all the answers. All you got to do is worry about how to get the hole dug, and then you're done. But they're laying out the edge of the pit, and I think we are going to stair step that one side down. Probably mostly for access so they can work a little bit easier. That hole might actually start right there, I don't know. Anyway, it'd be interesting to see how I thought we'd probably dig out past those I-beams for the lagging. Seen them do that before, where they just put the oak boards back behind the web of the I-beam, but these guys are going to actually bolt. I guess they're going to bolt it together. So like I say, it's a little bit different. Something I hadn't quite, I guess, experienced just yet. We'll have trouble digging the dirt. It's going to be easy enough to dig. It's just getting in here to be able to reach the bottom of the 12-foot deep hole. It's going to be my issue. So, kind of hoping maybe we can get this dug out where we can get the lagging down to the 6-foot mark and then go ahead and punch on down to 12. That would be my preferred way to do it. Now what I might do, this thought just occurred to me, I might want to just come in here and dig a little bit narrower path right next to these, maybe just dig like 4 feet wide right next to the I-beam, and they can put their lagging in there and we can still have some dirt to set on out here in the middle. That's probably what I need to do. I knew it would come to me eventually if I thought about it a minute. Just hadn't had enough coffee yet, I guess. Or coffee hadn't sunk in. I don't know, soaked in, whatever. Alright, we're gonna get this set up where these guys can start going. Trying to remember where the heck. Where the beams are over here. I'm gonna go ahead and get that other corner straightened up there for them. Get it to where they can start. That's a big good job for an excavator. A big one. This is a big hole. You can kind of see what we got there. This side over here I'm sitting on, we're going to be benching. What I'm trying to do here is just get set up, get in line with these. Can't put our dirt on the other side of the tape. That's our, they got a little boundary there, I guess. But this crew that's putting the lagging in, they seem to know what they're doing. I think they've done this. Seemed like they've probably done this before. Said they normally start out at 5 foot. This is right about 5.5 foot. They said they usually like to keep the dirt as tight as they can to the boards. They said if they have to, they can trim it with a shovel a little bit. They ain't afraid to work a little, I guess, but main thing is they want it to be safe when they're done. That's their job. So, he also told me we're going to hit rock at about 10 feet in a few places. That's pretty hard. So this job might turn into an excavator job before we're done. I don't know. I wish I had about a 130 size machine. But there's not enough of these jobs to really justify buying one. So, you know, One of these days, maybe. Like I say, it'll be interesting to see how they do their stuff, how they do their job. We're just digging to be in a hurry today. We're not really trying to be real super neat or anything, but dang it, it's a little bit too far inside of there. Got the Takahoochie way down yonder on the Hoochie Coochie. Anyway, nice air-conditioned job to be on for summertime. This is one of the hottest. June, July. We're starting into July. We've already been over 100 several days. That's not really normal for June or July. So it's just been miserable. Now we did have a spell. It was 104 one day. The next day we woke up and it was almost cold outside. It was like, shoot, I don't know. I think the high that day was 75 or 80. But that morning was just chilly, cold, almost. So, been really weird weather. Really strange. I don't know. I guess it's climate change. Alright, just took a lunch. We're back at it. We've got 6 foot deep. Almost a third of the way down. I'm sure we'll get that done today, and then they're still working on the first section over there. And this is the reason I thought this was a better idea, is if we waited for those guys, like if we dug that first cell out 6 foot deep and then waited for them to come back in and finish it, well, you know, there's more than one way you can do it, but I think this is working out great. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Ain't over yet. The problem I got is getting down to 12 foot deep. Pretty good chance I'm going to end up having to I'm probably going to have to come back and bench down at least 4 foot deep, get the backhoe down in the bench and throw the dirt out. I think that's about the only way I can get it dug out with the backhoe. The guys that put these I-beams in said that they hit rock over here about 10 foot deep in one of these. holes, so there is a possibility I won't be able to dig it at all. So far I haven't hit any rock. I've hit a couple of just loose rocks, or rocks that are just kind of in the ground, but not like solid rock or anything like that. But anyway, kind of a slow boring dig, just it's going to be, I think I'm probably going to be at least 3 days, counting today maybe. I might get it done this week. It's the 5th of July, so maybe by Friday we'll be done. I don't know. It's going to be probably most of the week though, the way it looks. Getting blinded by the welder. Probably gonna have burnt eyeballs today. But what they're doing is they're welding they weld a threaded rod, or all threads, what we call them. Call them all thread because there's nothing but thread there, but anyway, they weld these rods in place, and then they come back in like the guy in the corner over there. I don't know if you can see him or not, but then they put their shoring boards in between threaded rods, and then that way they got a they don't have to drill holes in their boards or anything like that. They just bolt them to the I-beam. I mean, I guess you could question whether or not the welds will hold, but I'm thinking they probably will. Interesting little dig. I call it little. It's a pretty big dig actually, but I think we originally talked about this taking 2 weeks. It might not, the way we're doing it. Dang it, welder. Anyway, we're not shooting grade, we're just guessing at 6 foot. But probably by the time I get to the end of this, we'll be ready to go back and start at the original starting point. We can go back down there and start digging deeper. Once we get down to the 12 foot, these guys will come back in and do the same thing over. So they're going to be waiting on that bit next time. We're probably going to try to complete each hole as we go. I'm sure if they bid this, they're probably bidding an allowance in there for waiting. They seem pretty happy that we were going to start out like this, so I think we're probably actually going to save them some time at the beginning of the job. Now whether we still saved them time over the whole job, I don't know. They were pretty happy about how the dirt's pretty much where they want it. Good stuff. Where the camera quit at, but I cut those. We got some extra piers in there that we're not going to use, so I got them dug out. I'm gonna go ahead and dig out these other two. So I got started digging my bench down in the bottom, and I wanted to get them piers out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and dig up these other two while I'm waiting on that. So we are probably going to be here all week. Like I say, this is Tuesday. We had the big 4th of July Happy Birthday America yesterday, so anyway, it's about the end of the day. We're going to probably shut down here in a little bit. Be back at it in the morning, bright and early. Or maybe just early. I don't know if it'll be bright, but that John Deere's bright. I tell you, that thing's ought to be illegal. Anyway, that's about all I know. It'll be interesting once we get down to the bottom of the grade. They were telling me when they drilled the piers over here, they were hitting rock about some places 10 feet. And apparently it was pretty hard stuff because they were breaking teeth or having to change them out. So we're probably going to get into some stuff we have to hammer. Like I told this guy, I don't know how long it takes. When you get into rock, it's kind of an unknown. We're out kind of Sunny Lane and pretty close to I-240, so I think if we get into any rock out here, it'll probably, chances are it'll probably be pretty tough stuff. I don't know. I've seen some pretty nasty rock around. It's just a sandstone, but some of it, people call it iron rock, and it gets pretty tough. So anyway, it's kind of a neat deal, kind of seeing how these guys build these shoring walls. They just call it lagging, but obviously they had to come in and drill holes for their beam, and then sent the beams down deeper than where we're going. You know, the pier has to be down below where the bottom of the hole is. So I didn't ask him how deep they went, but I'm sure they probably went another, I would think, just guessing, maybe 10 feet below. I'll ask him tomorrow. Anyway, working out pretty good. I think these guys were planning on waiting all day for me to dig one hole down to 12 foot. Or, well, actually, when I got here, the plan was to dig one section of it 6 foot deep and let these guys put their lagging in, and then we would continue to dig on down the grade. I don't know, I don't like to have people sitting around waiting on me. I know they're going to be before the job's over, but the thing is, I figured if we could go ahead and dig the whole pit 5 foot wide, 6 foot deep, from one end to the other, which I've got that dug out, that allows these guys to keep working. And once I get my bench in here, shoot, I'll be able to they'll be able to come on down here and work on this part tomorrow, and I'll be down there. Of course, they may get caught up with me. They ran into a snag. There's a concrete footing under that column that's right directly in front of me right here, or behind me, I guess. I'm facing backwards, but it's right where those guys are standing there. There was a big spot footing that came out bigger than what they expected, and they didn't want to undermine it. And so what they ended up doing is welding a beam in across those two piers, and they actually anchor bolted into the top of the foundation. They drilled in some anchor bolts, and they actually bolted it tight to the beam they put in there. So anyway, they kind of had a little snag there, kind of held them up a little bit, but I think the rest of it's fairly straightforward. Nothing major, nothing out of the ordinary. Like I say, we gotta get these extra, and I'm actually glad these are extras, because it would be really tough to dig this. It's going to be hard to dig it anyway, but it would be really, really tough to dig this if I had to jump in and out of each hole. I mean, this is not really the ideal machine for this job. But we're gonna do what we gotta do. We're gonna make this work. I mean, if I make the call and I tell the guys I'm working for we need an excavator, they'll get me an excavator. But we're gonna see how this goes with the backhoe. Anyway, I think we're gonna be all right. Well, I know we're gonna be. This ain't my first rodeo. Anyway, my first one, like this one, I guess, but not my first rodeo. I've dug some weird stuff, interesting stuff. These are the kind of days and jobs that, you know, these are the kind of jobs you're kind of sad when they're over, I think. It's kind of like, there ain't nobody else doing this today. Nowhere. Well, there might be somewhere, but not exactly like this. Anyway.